Good morning and welcome to On the Record with Buddy Cianci. You know, it's the Thanksgiving season, a lot of shopping going on, a lot of celebration going on, a lot of festivities. And of course, we're taping this show before Small Business Saturday. Small Business Saturday will have gone and come and gone. However, it's Sunday morning. And Small Business Saturday is not just for the Saturday, it's for shopping all week and all season at small businesses. And who better to have on the show today, this morning, than Mark Hayward, who's the head of the Small Business Administration. As you know, he was formerly the mayor of East Providence, Rhode Island, and for 24 years he's been the head of the Small Business Administration. He also was Deputy Assistant, I think, Secretary of the Interior for Territorial Affairs.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got that down pretty well. Mark Hayward, thanks. First of all, happy holiday season, happy Thanksgiving, happy Merry Christmas and all that stuff.
Same to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. But this is a big part of business this time of year. Black Friday, I think, comes from the idea that this is the time when the business should start going in the black. Is that right?
That's absolutely
Instead
correct.
of in the red.
They target at making most of their profits, believe it or not, on that particular day or during this particular season. Black Friday is a period where major stores look for a tremendous amount of influx of cash in order to make them black for the entire year. Okay. And we want to see people in the black and not in the red. And then, but we focus, and the SBA has had a partnership with American Express about focusing on Small Business Saturday. And while we talk about Small Business Saturday, we're really talking about trying to remind people that it's the people in the community, it's the small businesses. For whatever you can find at a big box store, you can find at a small business. Right. And you probably can find it at a very reasonable or similar price. And we're just trying to say, these individuals, as you drive down the street and you start counting, be it the baker, be it the cobbler, be it the TV store, whatever it is, shop small, because those are the individuals who support the community, right, who give back to the little leagues and to the football teams and to the cheerleaders and to everybody else. Absolutely. They hire, in fact, 57% of all people who currently work in the state of Rhode Island work in a small business. And
a small business is defined as what? A company that has less than, what,
500 employees or less. But that's not what we really have in Rhode Island. We have people.
5 people, 6 people,
5, 10,
people.
15, 20. Most of the companies in Rhode Island are 100 employees or less, but they mostly fall into the category of 10 or less.
All right. And you make yourself available, your organization does, the SBA, by providing not only professional services, advice, but you also give out loans and money.
Absolutely.
Let's do the loans program first, and I want to get into the awards that you give out. We're going to get people to nominate individuals for these awards. And tell us a little bit about small business and what we should be looking for this season economically. But tell us, how can someone start a business, or someone sitting home, they're saying, well, I lost my job, I can't find work, but I have skills. I worked for a plumber. Now I'm a plumber, but I can't find a job, or I'm a carpenter. I can't find a job. I want to start my own business. So I got a product I want to develop. They can go to you and get not only professional advice, but they can also get a business plan, and they can also get the money to start the business.
Absolutely, Mayor. And what's critical about this is it's kind of like the soup to nuts from beginning to end. What we can do with the help of our partners is specifically tell individuals what they can do to get into business. Example, we have SCORE, which it used to be called the Service Corps of Retired Executives. They're really not retired, Mayor. Most of those individuals who volunteer for SCORE are people who are in business, but they want to give back to the community. And they provide advice. We have the Small Business Development Center currently located at the University of Rhode Island. They have offices around the state. And then we have the Center for Women in Enterprise. And those three organizations are financially supported by the Small Business Administration or you through your tax dollars. We will help you put a business plan together. We will help you put financial statements together. They will help you put the package together to take it to the lenders, and we deal with 36 lenders here in the state of Rhode Island to get the finance for that particular business.
How much money? You can get anything from $1,000, $2,000, all the way up to $5 million.
Exactly.
Right?
In fact, last week I saw a loan that came across for $5,000. I mean, it just shows you that somebody had the foresight to put a business loan for a business purpose, and that's what we we recommend to people all the time. You know, they say, oh, you can go get a home equity loan. Well, the one difference between the home equity loan and a business loan is if you put a home equity loan and the business goes south, the bank doesn't care whether or not you put it for a business purpose or what you spent that money for. When you're looking at a business loan, we specifically say you have to pledge all business assets. So the liquidation of any particular loan, if it went south, would be for those business assets. And that's
not the house.
Not the house. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have a process at SBA, yes, and we may take a second or a third or a fourth, and I've seen it as long as sixth on a house. But it's unusual for the agency to authorize the lender to go forward and sell if there is a loan out in front of us.
That's going to take the money anyway.
If you go to sell the house 20 years from now, the SBA is going to be standing there saying, you owe us X amount of dollars. The most important thing that we want to see for a business is cash flow. How do you repay that loan through the cash flow of the business? So we teach people. We teach QuickBooks. We teach just about everything to try to make sure that you're successful. Not everybody is successful, but I will tell you.
What's your failure rate on recovery?
Believe it or not, it's less than 8%.
That's pretty good.
That's very good. And we're really fortunate because the banks are true partners with us. And we put $126 million on the street last year.
In Rhode Island.
In Rhode Island. And that's a significant amount of money for the state of Rhode Island.
Let's talk about how you do that. If you, how can you get one of these $126 million to start a company and or sell things or start a computer company or start a widget company or whatever you want to start? First of all, you have to have an idea, or you have to have a skill or whatever, and you say, I want to start a widget company, and they call you. What's the first thing they're going to do?
First thing we'll do is we'll put them with one of the 3 partners to get your business plan. You put that all together, and then there are certain lenders that we know who want to finance widget companies, and we'll recommend 3 or 4 lenders. You take that
a
bank. And you take that business plan to the bank, and I assure you that there will be 3 or 4 offers of people who want to finance that particular business.
And they'll finance 50% of it.
Well, actually, they'll do a lot. They can do up to 80% of the loan.
Okay.
So we want to see some kind of equity injection into the business. And equity takes a lot of different forms, Mayor. Everybody says, well, I need to come up with cash. Well, we say cash or cash equivalents. But cash can actually be from your Uncle Harry, who gives you $50,000 to start the business because he believes in you. But Uncle Harry's going to stand behind the bank and stand behind SBA.
In other words, he's going to have a second mortgage on the place.
Exactly. But he's not going to get paid right away until the business becomes successful. So where you look at that as debt, we look at that as equity. So that's really an opportunity. We say you can get it from family members, friends, or enemies. It doesn't make any difference. Just as long as you have some.
Or they can get it. How about sweat equity? Can they put some sweat equity
Absolutely. You can have sweat equity. In fact, a lot of people do have sweat equity, particularly if they're going into a building. There's one that comes to mind, Mayor. There's an individual who's going to do a business in Charlestown, and her husband redid himself the entire inside of the place. And that was all sweat equity that they put into it. And when it came down and they put it all on paper, it ended up to be about 15% of what they would have had to put in.
So let's say, how much did they have to, how much?
It was a $100,000 loan. They would need to put 20% down from the materials that they bought themselves and the fact that he did the work in the establishment. And it's a gluten-free restaurant, and it's very unique unto itself. But he did.
Does they own the real estate?
They don't own the real estate, so it was all leasehold improvements.
But you gave them
$100,000.
And
they put about $20,000.
And the bank had to put in 50. Is that how?
No, it was under the 7A program.
Oh, the other program.
So they gave them the $100,000. They put in 20%, so about $20,000.
And then the bank loaned them $80,000.
Correct.
And you stood behind it.
That's absolutely correct.
Okay, so they can go there if they have a plan, they have a business plan, they put a little sweat equity, and they can start it, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a widget company, doesn't make any difference.
It can be just about anything. The interesting thing that we're finding today, Mayor, is we're seeing a lot of on-sourcing, which is something that we haven't seen in a very long time. What does that mean? That means that manufacturers that were actually going overseas are now coming back to the United States. And we're seeing smaller companies expand. Bill McCourt from the Rhode Island Manufacturers Association has a great handle on this, and he's the one that has been feeding us a lot of the manufacturers who need cash, who need equity, who need working capital.
They went over to China. They found it didn't work for them.
Right.
They're coming back. And
for whatever reasons. Could have been environmental, could have been work quality, could have been
Shipping
just
costs,
they're bringing them back on shore. And I think it's a real testament to the fact that we
All
have
right.
some
So
strong
let's say someone
companies.
wants to buy a piece of real estate. You have a program for that too.
Yeah, it's called the 504 program. And I always say that the 504 program is our window to Wall Street for small business, because it allows you as a small business owner to take the $1 million building and you do 50% with the bank that goes into first position all by themselves. We come in, the SBA comes in with a 40% debenture that's sold in the secondary market.
Yeah, sold in the market. So
Right.
just so we don't go too fast.
Oh, yeah.
Don't think $1 million.
I get excited about
yeah,
this,
but
Mayor.
don't think that $1 million is a lot of money. They come in, if you've got the right building and the right idea, they come in and the bank's going to give you a 50% of the value more. You're going to get $500,000.
Right. And then we
and
do
then,
40.
And then SBA is going to give you $400,000 more. And now you've got to come up with $100,000. It could be sweat equity, it could be borrowed money, it could be anything. And now, as long as you occupy 51% of that business or that building for your business, the other 49% you can rent out.
Exactly.
And that'll pay the nut on the mortgage most likely.
And most of the time what we see is an operating company. If you had you have two different structures. One is you have an operating company that's making the actual widgets.
Yeah.
Most of the time you'll have a holding company that will hold the real estate,
Yep.
and the operating company will pay a rent to the holding company. That way, if
Well, to the real estate owners, yeah.
Right. If
Real estate
Cianci
company.
Enterprises wants to take up the other 49%, you pay the holding company, and the holding company is responsible for it.
Oh, I see. In other words, you have a holding company that has the whole building.
That's correct.
And then if you have Buddy Cianci who wants to do 51% of it, or you don't even have to do that, you have to rent part of it, and the other, you can rent it all out if it's a holding
Exactly. And we had a tremendous amount of success this year. In fact, we had a huge increase in 504 loans
Now,
in
tell
the
them
state
what
of Rhode Island.
504 is where you
50,
can
40, 10.
50, you put in, the bank gives you 50%, SBA guarantees you the other 40%, and you put in 10%.
Correct.
And now you can, that's for real estate, and then you can have you can marry marry with that the other program, which is working capital.
Exactly.
And you can start a business.
Exactly.
And it's not that complicated. And now you had many, let's give some kudos to some banks here.
Yep.
I know it's the big banks, they don't like to participate, but the smaller banks like Coastway Community Bank, 57 loans that they gave out. Bank Rhode Island is second with 38 of these loans. Independence Bank with 31%. Citizens with 26. That's a big bank. Freedom National, 20. Navigant Credit Union, 20. Bank Rhode Island, Bank Newport, another 20. Greenwood Credit Union, 15. So it goes all the way down. And you've given out millions of dollars here. How many millions of dollars?
$121 million over the last fiscal year.
All you're going to do is call this number. If we're going too fast for you this morning, it's Thanksgiving weekend. You had a lot of turkey. But this is really a program where you can start your own business, or if you need money, if you're in business.
Exactly.
Want to buy a building, and this is we do this show every year because it's just a great program. And if they want help on this, you know, they don't have to be a genius here. You don't have to be a big business mogul, because you're going to get them the people who help them put a business plan together. You're going to put them in touch with the bank. You're going to make sure they're ready to do this. Look at their plan, and they're going to help. You're going to help them develop it. And if you're a woman or minority, I'm sure there's even more special programs, or there's help with that. So all you got to do is call a number. What's the number?
528-4540.
Can we put that up on the screen?
It's right there.
401. There it is. Yeah. You call that number if you're thinking about starting a business or you need money. SBA will help. I've never sent anybody down there that hasn't been responsive. In fact, the last time you were on, you helped about 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, actually, there was a woman who was in Westerly. She had a business. She had a problem with an existing loan. We straightened out the problem with the existing loan, and actually, she got a second loan to expand the business, which was really, really unique. And she said it was listening to this show is what really made her want to pick up the phone. And by the way, that number rings right on my desk. We're not sending you to anywhere else. It will ring on my desk.
Hayward.
Hopefully, I'll be in the office and I'll be able to pick it up. But it's
so you
really
call Monday morning after Thanksgiving. You pick up the phone, you call him, and if you have an idea, you have anything, you can start a business. There's no question about it. You might be a tradesperson. You might be a person who's sitting home. And there's the number up there. Want to keep it up there. But right now, we're going to take a break. Am I right, Sherry? I'm talking to the people. Yeah, she wants to take a little break.
That sounds good.
All right, we'll take a little break. Mark Hayward, head of the SBA. We'll be right back with On the Record with Buddy Cianci after these messages. Welcome back to On the Record with Buddy Cianci. My guest this morning, Mark Hayward, head of the director of the Small Business Administration, has been that for about 24, 25 years. I want to talk about, we know how you get a loan. We want to keep that number up there so people can call. But you also have another program for people who already are in business. You call it the Emerging Leaders Rhode Island program.
That's correct.
What is that about?
You know, Mayor, it's been going on around the country for the last 3 years, and we were fortunate in Rhode Island to be selected by SBA National to be one of the states selected to do Emerging Leaders. And essentially what we're talking about is somebody who's in business for at least 3 years, who has sales of approximately $400,000 or more, and it's to bring them to that next level. And the program is provided by the SBA through a contractor called Enterprise, and it's
what do they do? What does Enterprise do?
Enterprise is a high tech, high service company that provides. It's like a streetwise MBA. It's if you want to get to the next level, you need help in doing that.
You're doing 400,000. You want to do $1 million.
You want to do $1 million. And I will tell you, there's a tremendous amount of success of this program. We just graduated 6 individuals, and it goes from, let me take Dixie Carroll, who is on the east side of Providence. She has a clothing store, and she had so much clothing, and she was so successful, but she wants to take it to the next level. In fact, we're talking to Dixie about a 504 loan so that she can expand. This was originally an internet business that grew into not only internet,
so she'll buy her own.
She's going to buy her own building. She wants to start a second site. But she needed to have people guide her to the point where and it's called J. Marcel Company. Where do I go next in order to expand this business that's been so tremendously
successful? Let me look for some real estate. Let me apply for the loan. Let me see what I need to expand my inventory. Who can if I want to buy a building, can I occupy 51% of it so I qualify?
Exactly.
And can I rent out the other 49%?
And we had many of these discussions with Dixie over the 26 weeks. It's 13 weeks of classwork. That's 3 hours. It's about 100 hours.
3 hours a week or 3 hours?
3 hours every other week. But there is also, on the off week, you have a couple of hours that you have to commit to homework and other things.
Yep.
But if you really want to do it, Drew Carey, who owns Inspire Environmental, he is a
he's the comedian.
Well, no,
he's a PhD. This guy.
Actually, his name is Drew Carey. I always, but he's a PhD. He actually was involved in the mapping of where that cable was going to go from Block Island onto the main shore, and what was best in order to get a new signal out to the island. Because as you well know, Block Island needs internet service, and getting this particular, and we have him at the point where he's expanding his business. He now is in discussions with Brown University from some technical side that he will do tremendous. Oscar Mejias, who is HITEP, he does education.
What's HITEP?
HITEP is a education program for non-English speaking and English speaking for CNAs and other technical services. And
medical services.
Medical services, and he's growing as well. Oscar now is in negotiations to start a paralegal program, so he needed to expand. He's looking at a 504
to bridge the
loan.
Hispanic community with the English-speaking community. Okay.
Exactly. So if you're a company that's looking to get to that next level, call us, because we're going to start a new class in April. We're looking to vet people who will be good for this particular program.
And then you can loan them more money to expand.
Exactly. And I will tell you, Mayor.
Put that number up there.
528-4540. And we've had a number of companies that have called us, but Mayor, this is really a great program because it's a concentrated program.
And they're going to hire, as a result of you guys, you're getting a bank to put 50% into the expansion, and you do a debenture bond for 40%. They put the 10 in.
You're talking about jobs.
Yeah, you're talking about they're going to hire people.
Exactly.
And that's very important.
Critical.
All right. So if you want to start a business, that's the number to call. You call Mark Hayward. If you're a business already in existence, you want to expand, call the number. You even may want to get into this program to get some guidance. And now you also do awards, don't you?
Yeah, every year since 1963, during President Kennedy's administration, they started awards for small business. We have a tremendous amount of successful small businesses out there who really should be recognized. And we've had great businesses here in Rhode Island that were recognized
nationally.
Nationally. In fact, Angelo's on the Hill.
Oh, they're right.
Bob he was
Bobby.
recognized nationally as a national winner of one of the awards. So,
well, they've been in business since before the Depression. I mean,
they certainly have been. And if you want a good meal, I know the old canteen's
yeah,
good.
I love the old canteen. But you know, I've been there too at his place, and I'll tell you, the big thing there was years ago when that restaurant was started during, before the Depression, they would feed people on the cuff, on the arm. When they got the money, they could bring it in, but they would feed them. It's got a great history, that restaurant. Well, a lot of them do.
He won a national award,
great.
Which is really great. But we've had others who've gone down that road as well. SBA, we try to recognize a lot of different categories. If you are a small business, if you're an exporter.
We want nominations here?
Yes, we want nominations.
They don't have to be in the program. They
don't have to have an SBA loan. They don't have to be in the program. But if they're businesses within the state of Rhode Island, you will compete with everybody nationwide. And we've had a lot of regional winners, which is
What's
in
the
New
criteria, in other words, like Small Business Person of the Year for developing an outstanding growing business, innovative product, increasing jobs, increasing sales, overcoming adversity, and community contributions?
Those are the requirements. And we do need some financial statements for some of the
And what's the benefit
categories.
of winning this award?
There's a lot of publicity that goes with it. And it's kind of like you reign for the next year. And then
like Miss America.
Exactly.
Home-based Small Business of the Year, Financial Services Champion of the Year, Minority-Owned Small Business of the Year,
Woman-owned small business,
Veterans-owned small business.
Veterans-owned small business.
Nominated right through that number on the screen.
Exactly. And we think that there are tremendous businesses in the state of Rhode Island that deserve national awards, and we want to make sure that they get it. And the only way that we can get this out to everybody is programs like yours.
So the Emerging Leaders Program. If you have a business, you want to expand it, and you want some help, not only with money but with advice, but also with some real concentrated help on in the leadership end.
Very intensive.
Or if you want to nominate a friend or someone who you know have done a great job in one of these categories, whether it's a veteran-owned small business, minority-owned small business, woman-owned small business, a lot of publicity goes with that. And then, of course, if you want to loan yourself, you want to start a business, just call that number. And I guarantee you will not be disappointed. And they will get you the help to start a business or expand your business. They will help you buy real estate. They will give you 50% of the money, your bank will, that they'll introduce you to. And the reason the bank's going to give you 50% is because they can't lose.
The 504 program, I don't know if, I can't recall any loans that really where the bank is lost.
No, they can't. I mean, because they're going to loan you 50% of what the value of the property is. Normally on a commercial loan, 75% they'll give you, but with you, because it's you guys, they're giving you 50%, and they're going to guarantee it, and then you're going to do the other 40%.
Exactly. And actually, Mayor, we've done some great deals where Commerce RI has come in and they've done 5%, and it's made it a lot easier.
By 5%, you mean?
We have some 5% of the overall deal.
Okay, so you can go to your local. By the way, you can go to some of your cities. You can go to the Providence Economic Development Corporation.
Exactly. I had a discussion with them last week.
And they'll give you the remaining 10%. So SBA will get you 50% from the bank. 40% will come from SBA itself by issuing the bench bond, and you can go to your local Economic Development Corporation and get 10%. So you don't have to put anything in.
Well, it's unusual to have that, but yes.
Yeah, but I know how to do that. I think you can do that.
You probably could.
Yeah, and then, or you can put sweat equity in.
Exactly.
And then you've got a building. Now you rent it out, you keep 51% of it for your business, rent out the other 49%, and you're home free. And all you need is an idea, and they'll help you develop that. So it's a win-win situation, and the SBA does it because it develops jobs, and it also stimulates the economy.
If we take nothing away from today, Mayor, is the fact that we're in the holiday season.
Yeah, we've got a minute. So
okay,
plug the holiday season. Go ahead.
The holiday season, it's a time where everybody spends. Everybody likes to give something to someone else, and there are just so many small businesses out there that you can just go into and buy a little trinket, buy something. Keep those small businesses up and operating, because it's really a tremendous asset to this community. The big departments,
the big box stores, they'll make it on their own.
They will make it. They certainly will. But we're hoping, and we're very assured that as we see the economic trend starting to go up, that small businesses will make it. But they won't make it unless people make the commitment to go to that small business and make that purchase.
Shop this holiday season in your neighborhood on Main Street.
Shop small.
Shop small, right there.
There you go.
Mark Hayward, you're always great to have on the show.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, and And I love the show. No controversy. Just trying to help people start a business or expand a business. And you know where to call. There's the number right there. And call Mark Hayward. All right. Thanks so much for listening. And thank you for being here. And happy holiday season. Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays. Merry
Happy
Christmas to
Hanukkah.
you.
Happy Kwanzaa. All those things. And thanks so much for watching. A happy holiday weekend to everyone and as we begin the holiday season. And thanks so much for watching On the Record with Buddy Cianci. Stay tuned for more great programming on your Southeast New England affiliate for ABC Channel 6.